Creating community to me means creating a sense of belonging and a sense of safety and somewhere where you can be with other people but be yourself at the same time, being who you really are without the need to conform, but still be within a group of people who appreciate you and value you.
And we want to create a community around where you're living.
Yes.
And that will be one. And we actually got that where I live. We've got a young man who came in, and he's made. We all live along one lane, and he's now organised so that once a year we meet in the pub and that kind of thing. I think that's really nice.
It's getting to know each other better, isn't it? And
But it's not quite seeing that creating a community actually means something quite strong, as opposed to friendship, which is quite different.
Yes. Being prepared to help each other, I think. I mean, I was very pleased when we had the snowy weather earlier in the year, when my neighbours knocked on my door to see whether I needed shopping. That's community. Yes, and so creating community here would be being prepared to help each other at that sort of level.
Creating community to me means working hard for what you want and working together for it. I believe that in a Quaker community we have the potential to make vast differences to the communities that we're involved in outside Quakerism. But as I say, we need to be willing to work hard for it and work together and do it in a peaceful, together way. That's creating community.
Creating community. Well, to me that means that we're in it together, we talk to one another, and we do things together, and we make the opportunities to do things together. It's about giving and sharing, and listening, and hearing the things that people aren't quite able to put into words, because those thoughts are still not fully formed, so we need to give them space. Community is a huge amount of what Quakers have given to me, and I'm really grateful for that. But community needs work both from me in taking part and from others in accepting me as the imperfect person that I am.
Creating community is what we've done. I've come to the yearly meeting with 4 grandchildren who are not Quakers, who don't belong to a Quaker family except for me, and yet who just in the short time that we've been here are totally part of this community, loving every minute of it and already taking in Quaker values. I can't express enough how strongly grateful I am for the community that's here already and how it's going to develop for the rest of the week. You've done a great job, you organisers, thank you.
The question, creating communities, what does it mean to me? It's a jolly hard question. I guess my first point of call would probably be to think back to my earlier life growing up in the north of Ireland. As most people know, it's a fairly conservative, traditional place, and whilst that has its downsides, when I think back to those early days, I remember the community, which had been created over a long period of time, a lot of it based around the churches, which were large and widespread and vocal in what was right and wrong. So when I think back to creating communities, I always do think of the role that churches play in that, and that being my experience. But fast forward to the present, I'm thinking of my life today, living in the urban areas of Birmingham, and how difficult it is to create a community when we live scattered. Alison and I live quite far from our church communities. So comparing the past with the present is jolly taxing and difficult. So I would still think it begins and ends with our church communities, the place that you're rooted in, the place that you're supported and held. But how that radiates out to those that aren't part of the church community is difficult. We don't know our neighbours on our street. It's a street that's full of folk from every colour and race and creed. So making those small efforts to create a community on the street are difficult. But we try that with hello and a good morning and all the basic things that try to bind you to your neighbours. But it's difficult. So that's probably where we would begin.
Well, I had the privilege of being warden at Quaker Meeting House in Lancaster for 17 years, and I think that what I saw in that time is how the Meeting House can really function in the local community as a big dollop of social glue. We had about 100 different groups and organisations using the building.
Yes, I have.
We renovated rooms, we brought new groups in, there were social care groups and support groups and arts groups and education and kids groups. And so everyone got to know the Meeting House, people got to know a bit about Quakerism, and it really made a difference. There was one local businessman who said to me that by developing that community, Friends had actually changed the ethos of the city centre, so I was very pleased to be part of that.